Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here today. As Costa said, I've been working with data, databases, and AI for a long time. So today I'm going to talk about AI. It's the latest buzzword. You all know about it. It's going to change the world, isn't it? It's going to change everything, all our businesses. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about taking data to help you work smarter, not harder, which is the thing we should be using. What is AI? Well, actually, let's move on to the next one, because Costa's explained about me, so I won't bother about me too much. No, I'll tap there. No.
Maybe slide?
Slide, yeah. That's it. Why AI matters. Well, we live in a world that produces vast amounts of data every day. Our phones, sensors, systems, and services. The challenge is that most organisations have too much data, but not enough insight. So AI helps us cut through the noise, finding patterns and meanings so we can make faster, better decisions. What is AI? Well, it stands for artificial intelligence, but it simply means software systems that can learn from data and make predictions. Sorry. Prediction. Oh, I've got my water here. Sorry. Predictions and decisions. The challenge that most we're using it now in all our lives. There's things like Netflix uses it to suggest what films you can watch. It's used in things like email filtering, as used spam filtering. That is AI. You'll get an email. If you tell it the email is spam, the AI engine should learn from that. And you will find that most of the spam doesn't get through. That's the AI engine, but it can't be perfect. It's not perfect. Yeah. But the idea is to help teach it. So if you just right-click and say, this is spam, hopefully it'll prevent the others. But
1,500 entries in my spam, my junk folder.
Well, as we know, AI is relatively new. It's not perfect. But it will get there, and it will help. And that's like everything. It's going to learn. So there are 4 stages in this process. The first is collecting the data. And that can be done in lots of different ways, and it's changing over time. We can collect data from sensors. I worked in this care and health sector, and I was collecting data from people's homes. We put little sensors in their homes to detect movements and things. You can collect, that's called the Internet of Things, where you're collecting from little devices. But there's data everywhere. Anyone that has forms that you get people to fill in, that's data that you've collected. Nowadays you don't even have to have it straight on a database. Even if it's handwritten, you can get the computer to scan it in, and then you've got the data. But collecting data is the first thing. Then you have to analyse it, and that's really my speciality. I'm a mathematician and a computer person, and I understand numbers and data, and I've written lots of algorithms to analyse the data, because raw data doesn't mean very much. It's how you analyse it. What can you use the data for? And that takes that takes people to do that, because computers, you can't just throw masses of data at an AI engine. It won't know what to do with it. But I'm quite good at helping understand what it is and each company is different, every business is different, but you've got to analyse that data to try and predict what you could make use of. But then you use the AI to help predict things. That's what it's for. Look at all these vast amounts of data. You've told it the type of thing you'd like to know, and it can help with that. It's used at the moment, for example, to take medical data and try and prevent people dying. You can look at you can look at heart rates, and you can look at scans of MRI scans, and it can do better than a lot of professionals at spotting things, because that's what AI is good at. Masses of data, it can analyse it, and it can predict things, and it can help you make decisions. It helps doctors and people. And that's what it's for. It's either to guide you in your decision-making as a person, it can help you by its analysis, or it can do things, it can automate. There are things you might as well get it to do, and it can do things automatically now. So that's what AI does. There's real-world impacts of AI. healthcare, for example, that's one of the things I worked in. It's changing healthcare. The idea is it's preventing people from dying. That's what it can do. It can look at masses of data. And nowadays we can start collecting more data than we thought possible. We can collect things that are just around that we can just add to the patient information, and the AI can take masses of variables, analyse it, and help. But it's also used in logistics, in offices. Most people can find a use for it. I don't know whether you've used it, any of you have used it for summarising meetings. I don't know how many people have ever had to write minutes of a meeting. It's a tedious job. You have a meeting, someone has to write the minutes. I've done it. You start off well, and then you drift off for a bit, and you forget to write something down. AI is really good at that. And on an online meeting, you stick it in the corner there, and at the end of the meeting, it just produces a lovely summary of the whole meeting. It's really useful. This is helping us all in our daily lives. And there's lots of things you can do. It can summarise reports. If you get a big report from someone, use it to summarise it for you. So you don't have to read the whole thing. Because often, spotting the exceptional parts is quite a tedious job. So using it for that is a real world thing. We could all be more efficient. It's like having a little helper on your side just to help you speed up your daily lives. So the point of how to use AI is to realise that it's the human plus the AI that makes it useful. It's not a thing to replace humans. People talk about, in the end, it'll be so clever, we won't need humans, but that's not really what it's about. So the best results come when people and AI work together. So AI brings speed, precision, and consistency. That's what it's good at. But humans bring creativity, ethics, and context. And those are the things. And when you combine the two, you get better, fairer, and more informed decisions. And that's what I've written here, augmented intelligence rather than artificial intelligence. It's helping us in our daily lives. But there are issues you've got to be careful about, and these are like the challenges. There's some dangers, and people are already falling into traps with AI, and it's a bit dangerous. People have tended to give these AI engines, these ones that the big American companies are producing, they're kind of milking data from the internet, and they're taking people's data and using it. And you've got to be careful of privacy, and it's an important part of it. So when you start using AI with your own data, which is what you need to do, you do have to be careful about how you don't want it available to everybody. And that's particularly important in legal things and IP information. It's a trap that people have been falling into. You've got to worry about bias. These engines are only as good as the information in it. So it gets things wrong. It's not actually intelligent. It's actually just copying all the data it's got. So it makes mistakes, and quite serious ones. So you've got to not use it for factual information that you're not sure about. You should use it to summarise things and collect things, but not rely on it. And certainly in legal professions, they've got into real trouble by trusting it. It can give you cases that don't exist. It will just make up cases and results, so it's not perfect. And the other thing is we need to build up skills in how to use it, because it's very, very clever, but it's not a natural thing. I think most of us now have realised that you've got a prompt and you can type something in and ask it a question, it will give you an answer. But to make better use of it, you need to build the prompts up to be quite sophisticated prompts. They could be pages of things, because you need to teach it things. And that takes a bit of time to learn that. None of us are really used to that. And there are some tools out there, but it's quite another thing to learn, a bit like Julian's multi-factor thing. It's another thing you've got to learn, and we do need to get on top of that. So all of us have things like that we need to improve on. And that's really all I want to take. The key takeaway today is that AI is something that takes data into something you can action. And that is a good thing. It helps us work smarter, not harder. And the future is human plus AI in a collaboration. It's not going to replace people. Although some jobs will go, because some jobs are rather tedious. I'm a coder, and I wouldn't now employ low-level coders to do things, because the AI can do that for me. But there'll be other jobs. There are other things that come out from it. So that's really all I wanted to say. I haven't got any demos. I'm sorry, but I didn't want to just doing any demos, but I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you very much.